What's up, guys? In this video, we're going to be reviewing Meta's new AI business assistant and seeing if it can give me some good advice on how to fix my campaign. I, of course, have been running ads for over 8 years now, so I've got the wisdom to know when it's giving me good advice or when it's giving you terrible advice, which we all know that Meta can sometimes suggest, or even when you call Meta marketing pros, the information can be terrible. The problem is, if you don't have a lot of experience, you don't know when it's giving you bad advice. So allow me to go over a bunch of different questions with you right now. We're going to see what Meta Business Assistant AI tells us to do, and we're going to be going over if it's actually good advice to follow or not. So we're going to be looking at a campaign that I just wrapped up for an in-person event. So obviously the event has already happened now, is why the campaign's off, but we got them 89 purchases at a ROAS of 5.5 from that one campaign. So pretty happy about that. We're going to ask Meta to give us some advice on this campaign though. So I'm going to go in to edit it. I'm going to click on Meta AI Business Assistant, which also you can bring up by simply highlighting anything now. If you want to ask, hey, what does this mean? If I wanted to ask, what does Advantage Plus Catalog mean? Then I will put it up here that it will know that you're asking a question about that. You still have to ask it, hey, what does Advantage Plus Catalog mean? But it's nice that it will at least put that into the initial query. So let's ask it some questions to see how did this campaign go overall. Okay, so for the performance overview, it said we got 89 results for that cost. It said which ad sets had the best performance. It is good to first monitor ad sets before ads if you do actually have differences between them, because the audience that you show to does matter even more so than the creative. It's hard to sell dog leashes, for example, to someone who doesn't own a dog, no matter how good the ad is. So audience is important. Nowadays, there's not a lot of ad set testing because open targeting, just leaving it open or using Advantage Plus Audience for Facebook to find your clients is usually the best idea, and not doing interest-based targeting or lookalike targeting. So it's not as much what I look at immediately now, but it is important to say that if you do have differences between your ad sets, that is most important. It analyzed what the top performing creatives were, and it did so with ROAS, which is good because that's how you want to actually analyze how good a creative was, not based on click-through rate or cost per result, even is not as accurate as ROAS. For recommendations, it says to leverage urgency and social proof, the high performance of doors closing, and this one that was direct text hook suggests that your audience responds best to urgency and peer validation. For future campaigns, consider A/B testing different variations of countdown timers. So that's interesting. I mean, urgency is necessary to get a sale for everything that you ever sell out there. There's things that have natural urgency of the event is going to end soon. It is literally going to be coming up. If the event ends, you can't buy tickets for it anymore. So there's that natural urgency, and that's what this doors closing ad was doing. And then there's, of course, artificial urgency, where we say early bird sales to get a better deal, 20% off if you buy before that date, because it is artificially made urgency. But it did identify that, yes, the urgency was doing well. That's good. Optimize high engagement creatives for conversion. Since this had a very high CTR but lower ROAS, the creative is clearly effective at capturing attention. Consider A/B testing the creative with different landing page or clear buy now calls to action. That is also pretty good advice. Let me see if I go here. What was the call to action button? So it's currently book now. It's saying to switch it to buy now instead of book now, which wouldn't do anything. If it said learn more, going from a learn more button to a buy now button or a shop now or order now button actually will get you much better results generally. There are some times when you are trying to get them to watch a video on the next page before they buy. That's when you want to use a learn more button. If you're ever trying to get them to go from the ad to pretty much just buying the product right then, you want to use these shop focused words. So that is good advice. However, it already says book now for that one. It's not saying learn more, which would be the only time that switching to a buyer intent call to action would actually do something. Scale efficient and audience segments with an Advantage Plus Audience. Both of these ad sets perform well with manual targeting, but to use Advantage Plus Audience, that's basically going to be something that it always tells you to do, because Facebook would love to take control of who your audience is. So Advantage Plus is technically off. All that means when it's on is that Facebook has full reign on who to show your ad to. As you can see, all I was doing was refining by age and I was refining by gender. This is an event for only women, so I really don't want to open this up. So Advantage plus audience in this case would actually be terrible advice, because we only want this to show to women because it's only for women. And then age 21 to 65 is also necessary because there is drinking at this event. So these are both very necessary. And if it did show to 18 to 20, or if it showed to men, that would not be good. And that's what Advantage plus audience would do. So there are times that Advantage plus audience is a good idea, but this would not be one of them. And that is what I'm talking about, of it will give you generic advice that may not pertain to your situation. So that would not be good. The other thing I'll say is that it keeps trying to get me to create an A/B test. The A/B test functionality is found on the campaign level, and it is not good to do because it will take all of your control away from your test. And even though you might be able to see that clearly A is the winner or clearly B is the winner, it will still keep running because it will say test incomplete. And it will usually run a few days longer than I would have run it anyways, and I would rather have turned it off earlier. The other situation that I don't like it for is when both creatives are doing well. If I have one that gets a ROAS of 5 and another one that gets a ROAS of 5.2, I'm not going to turn off the one that has a ROAS of 5, which is more so what the A/B test would be suggesting to do, that one ad is a winner and one is a loser. In that case, when the ROAS is that close, even if it was 5.2 versus 4.7, I would leave both ads on because I'd rather have the creative diversity than turn off an ad that's doing slightly worse and could possibly turn around. So that is why I don't use the A/B test function ever, although I'm obviously doing a ton of testing all the time. So let's ask it another question. I'm going to try to trick it this time because we all know as advertisers that have been doing meta ads for a while that you only ever want to do leads or sales campaigns, or if you are doing an app install, then of course you do app promotion. But we know that these three campaigns are absolutely burning money. So let's ask, should I run an engagement campaign for top of funnel before I run sales campaigns? Whether to run an engagement campaign before a sales campaign depends on your specific business goals. Your intent is to understand if a top of funnel strategy is necessary to warm up accounts before driving them towards a purchase. The map to KPI of results, conversions versus engagement. In meta advertising, while engagement campaigns can build social proof and brand awareness, our systems are highly efficient at finding people likely to convert even without a prior engagement touch point. That is absolutely accurate. If your primary goal is sales, starting with a sales objective is often more efficient. Good. That is actually correct advice. So I tried to trap it there because I thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, run a traffic campaign, run an engagement campaign too. It is looking that it knows that it has been performing well, even just going right for the bottom of funnel. So let's see, recommendations for your strategy. Consolidate for liquidity. Your two ad sets use very similar targeting, consolidating them into one ad set. That's not a good idea. The reason why one is named after me and the other one is named Tatsuki is because at my agency, that is how we divide out our different ads, because I pay my employees based on performance. So obviously in my case, I would not listen to the ad set consolidation. And that is a very common tip that it likes to give, where it says, let's just combine your ad sets. And the reason why it says that is because when you do that, then you wouldn't have two different ads with two different engagements or amounts of engagement. You would have like 17 likes over here and 10 likes over here. You'd have 27 likes on one. Now, it won't combine them. It will just combine them moving forward. So it'll take the one that has more results typically, and then it will just use that one moving forward so that all of the likes, comments, shares, and saves can be on one ad. That's not a bad idea. However, usually if you made an ad set test, you did it for a reason, and it's because you want to keep that data separate. So I've never found it actually a good idea to consolidate ad sets together. You should keep that data separate as you originally intended. Advantage plus audience, not a good idea here. It wants to show to men and it wants to show to people who aren't 21 yet. So both terrible ideas for this business. Test video creative variations. We are doing a bunch of different videos. If it is trying to get me to use their AI video, I don't have to tell you why that's a bad idea. You can just look at it, try to create an AI video for you, and you can know that that thing looks weird, makes no sense, and 4 seconds is not a good video length at all, and that's usually what it creates. So you should never run ad videos that are less than 8 seconds, by the way, but it keeps trying to give you ads that are 4 seconds long. Scale high performing creative messaging. The ad doors closing achieve the highest purchase ROAS of 9.04. This urgency messaging is clearly resonating. This is good advice. When you see something that is all about the urgency, especially at the ad level, talking about the urgency, and especially at the headline of that ad, right at the beginning of them seeing the ad, it's all about the urgency, then yes, you would want to do more of that. And then again, implement Advantage Plus Audience, which is terrible advice. All right, so let's check out one more ad account, which is an e-commerce company that only has one product. It's a very simple account to look at, but they do have 180 purchases. So we should see enough data for Meta to give us some good information. So let's ask it, what 3 changes would you make next? All right, so the 3 changes it suggests to make. The first one, enable Advantage Plus creative enhancements. This is terrible advice. Advantage Plus creative enhancements, pretty much all of them are not good to use. If you're unfamiliar with Advantage Plus creative enhancements, it's right here at the ad level. And as you should all know by now, if you watch my channel or any YouTube channel out there, every one of us will tell you that Advantage Plus creative enhancements will basically ruin your campaigns. There's things like visual touch-ups or flex media or add music that will make your ad very weird or crop it in a way that makes the ad not make sense anymore. So I'm not sure which ones it's suggesting, but all of them that I have off are off for a reason. So this would really wreck my campaign, actually, if I followed that advice. Test value optimization via A/B test. The A/B test feature is not good to use. Activate shop ads for website conversions. This is also not good to do. Shop ads is when the ad will send to your Facebook shop or Instagram shop. This is only good for clothing companies and jewelry stores because these are simple products that they can simply look at and know if they want to buy or not. Something like this product here does have a lot of education behind it, so they do need to get sent to the website. They do need to watch a video on the website, and they need to have an FAQ page and a lot more information available to them. So activating shop ads would also be a terrible idea for this campaign. And then the last suggestion is to implement Advantage Plus Audience for interest targeting. However, I already am doing Advantage Plus Audience, so usually this is a bad recommendation, and in this case it's just a nonsensical one because I already have it on. Let's ask it one more question. So here's one of the best questions that you can ask Meta AI, actually, because it's so good at analyzing a ton of different data at once. What is an ad that used to perform well that is trending in the wrong direction? Okay, so we can see ads trending downward despite having a strong CTR of 4.09, which is 1.45% above the internal benchmark. Internal benchmark, that's good that it's comparing it against itself, the other ads in this campaign, rather than as an industry standard, which is irrelevant. This ad has seen a 73.15% decline in CTR over the last 28 days. This is good information. The only thing is I only care if the ROAS is gone down. If the CTR is down, but the ROAS is the same, then I would not make any changes accordingly. At this level of a decline in CTR, though, I likely will find a decrease in ROAS. So I would just double check that information and check the ROAS as my decision-making benchmark. Otherwise, that is good that it pointed that out. Recommendations to improve performance. Again, apply Advantage Plus creative enhancements. Terrible. This is always going to be a terrible idea to do. Activate shop ads. Test value optimization. So activate shop ads, we already went over. Test value optimization, what it's telling me to do here is switch maximize number of conversions to maximize value of conversions. I tested this last week. I've tested it every 6 months for the last few years. I've never seen maximize value of conversions achieve a higher ROAS than using maximize number of conversions. Even though I wish maximize value worked, it sounds awesome. It finds people that are more likely to spend more money. And I've done it with expensive products and cheap products, and it doesn't matter. Maximize number of conversions always wins. So I like this in theory. I wish that this worked, but I can tell you conclusively that it is not a working feature yet, although I keep trying it every 6 months just to see if they have finally been able to make it work as intended. Then it says transition to advantage plus audience. I have done this a few times, guys. Honestly, I've recorded this video a few times because I had some tech errors, and it is telling me the same thing over and over and over again. Advantage plus creative, shop ads, this value optimization, advantage plus audience, consolidate ad sets, a lot of things that you should not do. So in conclusion, I will tell you that this is a great feature to use to ask the question that I just asked. What is an ad that did really well in the past that is trending downward? This is just something that is hard to spot, because if you're always looking at the time frame on the maximum and you're looking at the ROAS, you might see a very high ROAS from an ad that did well in the past but is not doing well in the last 30 to 90 days, and you might not notice that. So looking at that information and having it pointed out to you is something that AI is obviously great at. The other thing I would use it for is just basic explanations of what these things mean. You can just highlight things like this and ask Meta AI just for clarification of what a general feature means. You can also ask it, what is my best performing creative right now and what is my worst creative and why? I would still take what it says with a grain of salt, but you can at least get some information about the best performing ad and the worst performing ad, and you can even say as far as ROAS goes. So in order to get great answers, you will need to ask great questions. The basic suggestions that it gives you are not great, and if you just say, how are my ads doing? Or what should I do next? What are some things that I should change about my ad account? You're only going to get such good information from doing so. So I'd ask very specific questions. If the question is not at least 10 words long, it's probably not going to be a good question and you're not going to get good information. But I will say that I will only use this because I have wisdom of running ads. So I know when it's giving me good advice or I know when it's giving me bad advice. And that is the problem is that if you are brand new to running ads and you're going to be hyper reliant on asking this thing for questions, it is going to lead you astray. Most of the campaign recommendations that Facebook will give you up in this top right section here are not good to do. It is trying to get you to give it more budget and more control. It wants to pick who your audience is for you. It wants to pick which ads to run for you. It wants to recreate your ads with AI. It wants to recreate video ads with your images. And they're all very weird. So it is a few years away before you would ever hand off the keys to AI. And I think we're probably never going to fully hand off the keys to AI because it doesn't know why something is doing well or something is doing bad. It just can look at things in it as a binary. Something is doing bad or something is doing good. And because it isn't a human, it will never truly know how to relate to other people. So you still need your human wisdom in order to properly run ads. This is really great news because there's a lot of people who are hyper reliant out there on everything AI tells them to do. And I like to kind of joke that a lot of my competitors are letting AI ruin their ad campaigns. So I really appreciate it. I am looking at you, Gen X, when I say that people are becoming too reliant on AI because surprisingly, Gen Z and millennials know when it's a good idea to listen to it or not, but I found a lot of my Gen X clients blindly trust AI, and it does use verbiage that is very certain about the answers that it gives, which is a problem because it will blatantly tell you a lie sometimes and be completely certain about it. So just know that if you are in Gen X, that the technology can be deceiving and you really should not blindly trust it, especially when it comes down to asking about what you should do with your Meta campaigns, because it's going to read Meta's blog articles and it's going to tell you these same things. So if you're really unsure what to do, book a free call with me personally. You can tell me exactly what's going on, exactly where you're at, and I'm going to be able to give you some very personalized advice. If you want my further help, I'll let you know what that would look like. Otherwise, I will give you some free help as best as I can. So book that free call, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.